Okay guys, I've gotten really confused about 8mm Mauser. So I'm making this video because Jeremy did a stupid. What did I do? Well, let me go to a very quick story. I bought a new rifle and a new caliber that I didn't have. I said I wasn't going to do that in the middle of an ammo shortage, but I did. And that new caliber for me is in fact 8mm Mauser. Now when I bought the rifle, it was at a local gun store and they had 8mm Mauser on the shelf. Now I was able to buy one box of it because he's limiting customers to one box of ammo right now. So I figured I really want to have more than 20 rounds with this thing. So I get online and I look for some more ammo. And I go on AmmoSeek and I find some somewhere. And I know the 8mm Mauser has a bunch of different names it goes by. 8x57, 7.92x57. Sometimes it's got these other letters IS and JS after it. But it's got all these different types. So I found what was under the 8mm section on this company's website that was selling it. And that was this 8x57 IRS. Ooh, IRS, I don't like that. And so I get it and I pull a cartridge out and I'm like, this isn't 8mm Mauser. It's got a rim. Look at that. One of these has a rim on it and the other one is rimless. I mean, they're basically the same cartridge otherwise. I mean, they look exactly the same there. This has soft points in it. I really didn't care what type of projectile I'm using for it. So I did some research after buying the ammo. Yes, always do your research before you buy. And I found out that there are, in fact, 4 different flavors of 8mm Mauser. And this is where these letters come from. This R, this S, and the J and the I's. Okay, well the I and the J are actually interchangeable. It comes from the German word for infantry, but in that fancy Gothic German text that they had on there, a lot of people that don't speak German and aren't familiar with German lettering mistook the I for a J. The S stands for Spitzer, which is going to be this type of thing here, the pointy bullet that you have. You can compare that to round nose bullets that don't come to the nice point on them there. And the R stands for rimmed. So what are the 4 different versions of the ammunition? Well, you have the 8mm I or 8mm J, which is the original loading. It is grooved. It does not have the Spitzer bullet on there. Just has the rounded bullet on the front of it. You have the JR or IR, which is the rimmed version of that same non-Spitzer cartridge. You have JS or IS, which is the version that you have here that most people think of with 8mm, that has the pointy Spitzer bullet and has no rim on the back of it. And the IRS or JRS, sometimes also done as ISR or JSR, which is this guy here that has a Spitzer bullet and a rim on the back of it there. So the rim is a big deal because you have completely different types of extractors and different types of head spacing involved when you have rimmed and non-rimmed cartridges. So that's a big difference there. The Spitzer is also important for you. It goes from a 318 diameter projectile on the non-Spitzer to a 323 on the Spitzer. Now if you were to put the regular non-S ammunition through one that is designed to have the S, you wouldn't have anything really bad happen other than you'd have a slightly undersized projectile, so your accuracy would be kind of crap. But if you were to put one of the S cartridges through one that is not rated for S, that is expecting that non-Spitzer bullet, well then you would have a projectile that is 5/1000ths too big, and that could cause some problems, especially on the older firearms, which are going to be the only ones that have these. You're going to be looking at really old stuff are going to be the only ones that aren't going to be Spitzer. You're looking at pre-World War I stuff here, most of them being antiques or just a few years after being antiques. If you got anything that old and you're not sure what it is, go ahead and check it out. But anything later on, most anything based off of the 98 action is going to be able to take the S ammunition. So now I've got like several boxes of this rimmed ammunition that I have no use for. So yeah, don't do that. Don't buy ammunition that's wrong. Pay attention to what you're getting there. As we've seen, a lot of online stores will stick the rimmed, the JRS or IRS type into the 8mm Mauser section, and it'll be in there listed with the 8mm Mauser. Now, it was very clearly listed in my place as 8x57 IRS. It very clearly listed on the box, and it's also very clearly listed on the item description. I just didn't know what IRS was. So hopefully this will keep you from buying a bunch of ammunition that you don't actually want or need. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down into the comment section and leave any thoughts you have down there. And if you're interested, you can also subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification to make sure that you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.